Howdy, this is Actism Care, the #1 YouTube channel that scrutinizes narcissistic abuse, bully culture, bully side, snitch culture, and cultural injustice and inequality. Please donate right now through GoFundMe.com. The GoFundMe link is under the video. Consider donating $1, $2, or $200 or $300 right now. On this video, I'm going to focus my social commentary on the American slob lifestyle. And the question I'm asking everybody today, does the American slob lifestyle feed into narcissism and specifically the narcissistic personality disorder and other personality disorders that are known for their moral turpitude? They're known for their gluttony. They're known for their wrath, their sinfulness, their rude, ill-mannered misconduct. So does the average couch potato American slob lifestyle feed into that and reinforce personality disorders? And I have to say, yes, it absolutely does. I agree with my own theory, and so that is a theory. It absolutely is a theory. And so what do you think? Do you want to add to the conversation? Post comments about what you've seen trending. Be honest, be realistic. And once again, I'm going to just remind people throughout my video that you can donate through GoFundMe.com. God bless you for loving my channel and for loving yourself. Give yourself knowledge and build the courage to use your First Amendment right to make the world a better place. God bless you for making the world a better place and for enjoying your civil rights. That's what life is all about, despite what our elders tell us, despite what our cantankerous, pugnacious, disgruntled friends and co-workers and bosses tell us. You know, they're always trying to piss all over our parade. You know, I want to say that as a dignified, trustworthy, good person, my lifestyle is very different than the average couch potato slob American. I like to eat well. I don't eat perfectly, but at least I try to eat well. And what I mean by that is I have cut out all fast food for the most part. All fast food has been cut out of my life, and I never eat fried food. And I try not to watch a lot of television. Do I watch, The Simpsons or Buffy the Vampire Slayer reruns or Smallville reruns or some horror movies or comedies every now and then? Sure, I do. I like entertainment like anybody else. So, but I try to limit how much television I watch, and I've seen the ugliness since I was growing up. The obsession with television. Little children, their minds are brainwashed by the television and by video games. And in the process, their minds are collapsed into garbage. They become more self-obsessed as the months and years go by. Instead of developing into a brilliant young adult or a brilliant teenager, our younger generation develops into lemmings. They develop into narcissistic, self-obsessed pod people or bumbling, flabby, out-of-shape buffoons that are just as manipulative. Some people look so buffoonish and flabby and out of shape, and they have the communication and vocabulary of a first grader. But beneath all of that buffoonery is narcissism. And but I've seen it starting when I was younger, just the lack of intelligence, the fact that so many people are brainwashed by the television and by their cell phone and by video games, and it starts at a very young age and it gets worse. And by the time you're a young adult, they don't have the skills that are developed that should be developed. They have not developed any of those skills, like building rapport with communication, being trustworthy and demonstrating that with behaviors, and being reliable, being consistent, showing empathy and sympathy towards your friends, family, coworkers, and other people in your life. They haven't developed that because they're too busy being couch potato blubber creatures, decomposing on their recliner or on their couch, just being disgusting pigs, just chowing down fried food, potato chips, Cheetos, Twinkies, chocolate cake, milkshakes, ice cream, the assortment of fried food that clogs your arteries, fast food. It's just horrible. And I really believe that feeds into the gluttony and the narcissism and the ugliness of our fat remedial culture. And I know this because I'm extroverted and I'm very observant by nature. I'm very, very analytical by nature. Well, I'm a critical thinker by nature, more than the average couch potato slob. When you're in high school, you are under duress that, like, if you don't cooperate and if you don't do your homework and if you don't take note in class and you don't cooperate with your teacher, then there's threats that, they'll suspend you, or they will put you in detention, or they'll call your parents, or they'll give you a detention. There's all those threats that if you don't do what the teacher says, then you'll be punished. So people learn by threat and by even by punishment in high school and junior high. But are people really learning? Do people really learn how to communicate at a young age in that type of way? If you're not going to practice what you learn, then you really haven't learned shit. So I just wanted to bring that out into the open for further analysis and further scrutiny. And that's what the average American is about. They're all about passing the test, memorizing frivolous minutia to pass those multiple choice Scantron exams in high school and in college as well. College is just an extension of high school. And you're learning under threat that if you don't get the right numbers or the right grade or the right GPA or the right, you don't get on professor's good side, and if you're not, all of it is done under threat. But it's also memorizing just to pass the test. Just memorize frivolous minutia to pass the test. Is that really intelligence, though? Or is that narcissism? Is it more about me? Look what I can do. Look at me. I made 100. Look at me. I made an A+. I have a 4.0 GPA. Look at me. Look at how great I am. I went to college here and I went to college there. And yada yada. And even in high school, it's the same bullshit, and it's pretentious, and really that's the American culture. That's how remedial and slovenly and ghoulish and lazy, indolent and insolent the American culture is. People don't learn so as to advance as a human, and when you learn as an individual citizen, then you can, teach others along the way, like your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or your friends who should be willing to learn from you or grow and evolve with you in a harmonious community of equals. But we live in a culture that is like anti-intellectual, which is typical of narcissists, borderlines, and the other personality disordered bozos that dominate our communities and our culture and our towns and our workplaces. So it's not really, on the surface they might be, looking, really smart, like they're hard workers or workaholics, but they really don't give a shit about learning or about, making the community a better place. Watch how they start backstabbing and they start attacking out of envy and jealousy and prejudice, and they just really have a freight train going up their ass. This is the average American retard slob. So the average American is that way. It really is unfortunate, and I really think that the lazy, slob, obese lifestyle of average American really does feed into the rampant growth of personality disorders in our towns and cities. And if you really open your eyes after reading a lot about this, doing a lot of research on this, you're going to start to see more and more of this because you're more informed, you're more knowledgeable. You're not just, learning pedantic minutia because your government high school teacher bullies you into memorizing a bunch of bullshit. What I describe here on Activism of Care is actually truly, really wonderfully meaningful to the community and to our relationships. And I really, really believe that, when being an extrovert, and I've known a lot of people, I've gotten to, know so many people, their lives seem perfect on the surface, but when you get to know them after a couple of weeks, their private lives are a train wreck. And I wonder, how the fuck do these people even fucking survive? How do they live like that? It's just horrible. They overeat fatty foods and fried foods, and they are like 200-300 pounds overweight. When I visit them, they're monosyllabic, remedial, mumbling, grumbling, self-absorbed morons, just want to stare at their cell phone, or they want to just stare like a zombie into television. It really is a depressing lifestyle to be a narcissist, and it's just a vicious cycle that they have been inured to or acclimated or habituated to. And I put my foot down and I say to myself all the time, I will not be like the average American fat ass bum. I will not be that. I will not be a narcissist like that, just self-absorbed, staring into the television and ignoring everybody around me and I refuse to be that way. I exercise on a regular basis and I try to eat well. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not the perfect healthy eater, but I try to eat well. I try to exercise on a regular basis. I drink a lot of water. I try to avoid soda. I try to avoid Cokes and soft drinks that are super sugary. I've cut caffeine out of my life. And like I said, I've cut out fried foods completely out of my life, and I've really reduced most fast food out of my life as well. So anyways, I'm just saying that, I like to go to the library, get some books, and I like to have conversations with people. I like to use active listening. That's what makes us more advanced than chimpanzees and gorillas, is that we have the ability to listen. We have the ability to comprehend what others are saying through words, vocabulary, sentence structure, writing, and emails and text messages and phone calls and face-to-face conversations. We have that advanced ability. But how many Americans utilize those advanced abilities? The average American has regressed. They don't have the vocabulary to really express who they are, what they feel, what they think. All of that has been most Americans are repressed because of the way that they were raised as children and teenagers. Just be a blob on a recliner, be lazy, be arrogant, be self-absorbed. And then at work, they're programmed to be workaholics, work your ass off in some cases, or be a workhorse and do more work than everybody else in your department. And that's how ugly it is. That's how ugly it can be. So, there's just really a lot of extremes, as we all know. Either you're programmed to be a workhorse and you do all this work, like 3 times more work than the other narcissists in your workplace, and the other narcissists are just, their arteries and their rear ends are clogged with greasy, slimy fast food, and they are just obtuse nincompoops. And you see both extremes in the workplace. You really, really do. You see, the workaholic narcissists, those are the ones that are manic, super hyperactive. They always look like they're high off meth or cocaine. And it's just really disturbing to see both of those extremes in workplaces, and the dating scene, and family, all areas of life. Well, thanks for listening. Please donate right now through GoFundMe, and have a beautiful day.